You have to say to the Minister?
Well, listen, this was a start. It was a start of a major campaign of people power. It was facilitated by a number of political parties, by a number of independent TDs and community groups and trade unions. This is only the start. This did not end on Saturday. This is an inherently unjust tax, an unfair tax. It is the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back. People cannot afford to pay. Only last year, a report was issued that said 1.8 million had less than €100 left per month to spend. Where are they going to find €200 or €300 out of their net income? They won't find it, they can't find it. The millionaire is given the same allowances as the person on social welfare. The millionaire is given the same benefits as people on social welfare. This is inherently unfair.
But John,
and unjust.
what is inherently unfair about it? I understand it's the straw that broke the camel's back in this case because people have been paying so much and many people are so broke. But why is it inherently unfair? We're one of the few OECD countries that don't have water charges.
Well, first of all, let's be very clear. We actually pay for water already through our general taxation system. Right? The fact that the water system has been allowed to run into disrepair is not the people's fault. There was a lack of investment down to the years. If they had spent the 50 million on consultants' fees, on the Gardaí time, on the water metering exercise, in fixing the leaks, the 40% that leaks before it ever gets to people's doors, it would be something. They're doing nothing. This is about collecting 400 million of revenue to pay off bank debts, and it's simple as nothing to do with water conservation, nothing to do with a kind of a better supply. This is about raising revenue, and they're going back to the same well time and time again. The poor, the working class, the most vulnerable society, the aged and the sick, and it's just inherently unfair. As I say, whether you're a millionaire or on social welfare, you're charged the same price for a litre of water.
OK, let you come back now, because you're for water charges as well, so you answer that.
I'm for reducing the amount of money we have to spend on it. I can understand why people are angry. I know there was a huge crowd out in O'Connell Street the other day. But actually, I think we should be angry at the fact that we're spending twice as much as we need to do because we're using twice as much as other countries with the same sort of system. And we are leaking twice as much as any other country. And as a result, we also have children getting sick because the water quality isn't right. And a third of our sewage plants aren't working, so we couldn't swim in our seas this summer. So we have a problem, and we have every right to be angry.
You're saying this as somebody who was in a government, Eamon Ryan. It shows that governments and local authorities fail to make the system better, but the people on Saturday protesting don't care. No, that was negligence on the part of governments and local authorities.
I'll tell you why I should care, because we are all paying for it. The poorest person is paying at the moment in the VAT that they pay on the basic goods that they buy. So we're all paying. The question is, how can we start saving on some of that? And I believe one of the ways that you start doing it is start finding out where are the leaks, how are we using it, and could we cut back the use so we don't have to spend as much? And that's a social justice issue. I think the government has got it completely wrong. I think they've messed up the way this has been managed and handled. They could have done a proper social equitable way. Tasks set out a paper, paying for water, which showed how you could do a differential water allowance, so it is progressive, so that the rich don't pay more than the poor. So there are ways we could have done it. They haven't done that, but that doesn't take away from the basic truth that we have to start wasting this resource. It's a precious natural resource. We can do that by metering it and by paying for it.
Can I come back in there? But the basic truth always is that we're talking about the protests and the people in this country who came out in their tens of thousands. The basic truth for them is they don't want to pay this. They regard it as unfair and unjust.
They are paying for it. And we're paying for a system that's not working. And they're paying for a system that 40% of it is wasted.
Pay for it.
The only way we will stop paying for that is to start metering it, start monitoring it, incentivise saving, help families put in simple measures so you actually don't have to use as much, put in a fair social justice system in it, and then you've got a system that actually works for the people.
Of course it's not the only way. There's 41% of water leaking nationally through the pipe system.
And we don't know where.
Well, actually, in the Dublin City Councils in recent times, they did great work in reducing it down to about 25%. But just to go back to what's going on in society here, because this is about more than just water. There's a revolt going on over the water charges. But there's also a newfound determination and confidence among working class people, among ordinary people, after being browbeaten for 6 years with the huge burden of austerity shoved disproportionately, obviously, onto their shoulders. And what I would, if I was in government, fear is that people have woken up and have taken confidence and are determined to beat this and to not pay it.
Different route to say, the bin taxes, as you called it, because people did revolt there, not in the same numbers, then they forgot about it. Do you think this is different?
It is, yeah. The scale of what we saw on Saturday, and we saw omens before Saturday. I mean, I had a meeting in my own area of 200. There was people sitting in the aisles. There was younger people There was more people from Dublin. You know, for example, it was a different makeup even to the property tax. And what I think is clear is that the majority of people on that march have no intention of paying the water charges, and there's very little that the government can do about it, because we can build a mass campaign of non-payment against this, like was done in the 1990s. And in fact, there was never 100,000 people on the streets in the 1990s.
On that point of non-payment, Minister, isn't there a nightmare scenario that you'll get an awful lot of people who would normally always pay their bills, ending up in court, refusing to pay? And what do you do then?
Well, look, first of all, can I just address a question